Happy Monday, Nasties. How you doing? Welcome to EST Afternoons. I'm Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage to my right, and we got two producers today, the one and only Matthew Wanick, and our regular producer, the Big Z, Zachticum, is back from his vacation, so we'll get to him shortly as well. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Of course, if you want to chime in, hit us up at the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, or on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. You can listen to us on TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, or watch us on the EST YouTube channel. Lots to get to, Joaquin, but first off, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. I got up to Westlock this weekend for little golf, a little hot stove with some NHL greats, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to rub shoulders with one of my, basically a guy that I really looked up to as a kid was Cliff Ronning, the old Vancouver Canuck, and I remember going to watch him play with the New Westminster Bruins when hockey was like a gladiator sport. I think there was still chicken wire in the corners in that place. And how he survived that, I have no idea, but goes on to play, I think, a little over 1,300 NHL games, and just great guy. Unreal golfer.
Yeah.
Like really, really good. Puts in a lot of time. But it was, the good people of up there were very inviting, and it seemed like the whole town had a good time this weekend.
That's, you know what, Cliff Ronning, obviously watching him with those Canucks teams, but if you ever played NHL 94 on this good old Sega, like the original one, yeah. Cliff Ronning was a speedster on that game, and he was great always to play with, obviously with the Russian Rocket, Pavel Bure. So that's my memory of Cliff Ronning. He was just really fast in video games, but yeah, it sounds like you had a great one. We're going to get to a lot on this show. We're going to have an NFL recap. Also tee up Monday Nighter as my San Francisco 49ers take on the New York Jets led by Aaron Rodgers, but it was a fun weekend in the NFL. The Oilers hit the ice. Let's go. We'll get, we'll probably hear some audio from Jeff Skinner, one of the new guys on the team, and we'll also see what's going on and who's all here down with the Edmonton Oilers. But first of all, wait. Aaron Grymes will join us, but it will be a different little segment because now he's a coach with the Edmonton.
I know this is
last week he joined us just as a former player, and he can kind of touch on all the different games, but now he's part of the Edmonton Elks once again, Gage.
It'd be crazy if football players don't start coming on our show, because Nick Anderson, massive game.
Friend of the show.
Aaron Grymes gets a promotion, gets a job out of it. Like, this is crazy.
Hey, yeah, if you're looking to have a hell of a game or a promotion, join us.
Bill Belichick, you want a job? Hop on the show.
Yeah, Aaron Grymes will be coming up at 1:40. We'll get we'll just touch base with him on the game and his new role with the Double E. It always fit. You always knew he was going to land back with the green and gold, and I'm happy to see him there. And like I said, we'll get to some Oilers audio, and we'll touch on them hitting the ice. But let's get to the big news of the weekend. The Edmonton Elks sweep the Labor Day Classic for the first time in 20 years. A lot of great performances for the Double E. But let's start off with some of the fun stuff, the crowd gauger. Like on TV, I wasn't able to make it. It looked great. I love looking at the end zones. And you see that all around. It's just packed. What an atmosphere.
It was, unfortunately I couldn't, I was away this weekend, but on the way home after the golf on Saturday, I was able to catch the broadcast. And you know that press box, when you hear them, like the announcing the game, and you can hear the buzz of the crowd. Like I was like, yeah, how loud is it in there? Like it was impressive. Actually, I was kind of glad I wasn't slinging dogs and stuff like that. That would have been a complete nightmare with over 32,000 people. But great. Like just to have sweep the Labor Day Classic. Everyone goes home happy
and handedly.
And no stress.
No stress.
Like. Maybe from all accounts, it wasn't a great first half, but just pure domination to get to full time, and I'm excited, Hernan. Like this Elks are the big dogs of Edmonton right now, and I'm really looking forward to this back-to-back with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
It's a tough time for the name change crowd right now because what did we always say? It had nothing to do with the name. Win some games, have some fun in-house stuff. The tailgate was just bumping. I saw videos on Twitter. It looked amazing. The weather was great. Wins brings people back. And just look at that last game. I can't wait for the next game. It's campus clash as well. So you're going to have U of A, Nate, McEwen, all there. So get your tickets while you can because that game is going to be pretty close to a sellout, if not a sellout. And we're going to get to the big news that we found out post-game from the interim head coach, Jarius Jackson. But it was great to see. I'm so happy for everybody there. They've worked their butts off, and I'm happy for the players and the coaches because they're turning this around. They're one of the hottest teams with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the CFL. We got to have a discussion on this. How about the owner, Larry Thompson? Absolute beauty. Like, he's become a legend already in Edmonton.
Yeah, and that's starting to solidify it, I think. And I watched that video. It's nice and zoomed in on the web this morning. Even Dusty saw me watching it, but just full doesn't care. He's just looking the other way and letting him going through the Stampeders sideline was pretty funny. I mean, it was a meme. Our good friend Ryan Rashog tweeted it out and had a little play-by-play during it.
Well, he broke it, right?
He broke it. It's just great. It's absolutely great.
And we were both watching on TV, like the howl from the broadcast team.
I know.
There's no holding back. There's no like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not calling them unprofessional or anything, but everybody just like Matt Dunnigan just let it out and was like laughing.
How do you not? How do you not? That's a great moment for the owner because he's a fan too. Like he's just pumped. So you could see him looking in the stands. His lovely wife throwing spirals to people. It was great.
And it was funny because like you said, initially when they show him in the fire truck,
he's looking.
And he's not even looking.
He's not even looking,
oh.
dude. Yeah, you better watch it. Get your license taken away.
But I mean, the fans adored it. Like you saw all the tweets on the good old X machine. The players, like I saw Boris Speedy. I saw so many players saying, "That's our owner, baby. That's our owner."
Yeah. I mean, when your owner's that tough, and a little honey badger on the other sidelines, that's great.
And then I think I heard Maddie say, like, I guess when he went past, he should have just went straight. Instead, he cut right where the cheerleaders were. And then he also said that Dave Dickinson was kind of running after him. Like
Dickinson, Maddie pointed out this morning on the show, we had the video showing Dickinson going nuts too. But no, it was full domination all the way up to the owner.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to the game. MBT was 15 of 25 for 219 yards, two TDs and one INT that was a pick six. I mean, the running game again, Gage, 29 rushes for 213 yards. That's a combination of Kevin Brown, Javon Leake, Justin Rankin. That's probably the best back group you'll have in the CFL. Gino Lewis is really coming on, playing well. Fortunate use, Hergy Mayala, who did have a touchdown, did leave the game and did not return. The defense, though.
That's the story, man.
7 turnovers. What is that? 9 interceptions in 2 games. That's unheard of.
Yeah, that's it's absolutely crazy.
In fairness, though, I mean, Calgary's young quarterback struggled mightily.
Well, I think it was Maddie who was mentioning it. He wasn't even he wasn't throwing with his legs. Like he was just trying to just muscle it in there with his
first one.
Yeah,
it's
just trying
like
to
a fade.
Yeah. So I mean, you come into the Battle of Alberta with as a never done it before. It's there was a pretty hostile crowd. Like I thought it kind of lined up well for him to get a little extra juice and especially in that type of situation. But hey, the Elks handled it. I know people are saying that they won this game against a weak Calgary Stampeders game, but
don't matter.
You know what? After this way this season's gone, I think it's even more impressive that you handle your business in a commanding fashion.
Yeah.
Bethel Thompson throws that pick at the end. It looks like there's a glimmer of hope, and then just gets snuffed out. Like the tribe has spoken. You're off the island, and the Calgary Stampeders go home for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, Lars says any injury news on MBT. The team's on a bye week, so we're not going to get anything. And because you saw him on that pick six kind of pull up and kind of grab his rib area there, and Trey came in, and I guess we'll get to that. I mean, Jarius Jackson in his post-game avail, he did say McLeod Bethel Thompson was fine. And then he went on to say Trey Ford will be the starter when the team returns to host the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I guess, Gager, your initial thoughts when you heard that?
Surprising that you don't. I think you would see most coaches in the CFL going into a bye week and possibly playing the most important game of the season, holding their cards to their chest a little bit closer than what they did. But in a way, I can also see on the other side. I mean, I'm just
using deal with the questions.
I'm just using my own personal experience. I think, it gets everyone in the mindset that okay, we know who's playing. And for the players themselves, like this allows Trey Ford to really focus for the next week. You know, really go over game tape. Looking at where he can have some success against the Bombers, who are also playing really good football at the time, right? So maybe having that extra week as a quarterback, not knowing if you're going to play or not, I don't know if that helps. If you were going to ask me what I would prefer, I think I would prefer to know in advance that I was playing, even though there is a bye week.
Yeah, internally, obviously they knew, but like you said, maybe he's just like, no, like I don't want to be questioned all week, and I just want to. I'm just going to say it like this because he did get hurt. That's why. So maybe this whole you can't lose your job because you're injured is into effect with the Edmonton Elks.
And you know what? It's kind of a macho move. You know, that's lifting your leg, peeing on the tree. Come beat us.
And it's because and listen, like we all know the fans, the love for Trey Ford, and obviously for obvious reasons, and then just seeing Max won the last two games here, so it's interesting that they're going this route. Now we saw it with I was going to say Minnesota. I don't know why I'm thinking Minnesota, but we saw it with the Montreal Alouettes when they dressed Cody Fajardo, but they played Davis Alexander, and then the next week they're like Fajardo's 100%. We're going back to him, so it could be a similar thing here. I mean, it's such a big series coming up. It's going to be a lot for Trey Ford. I think he can handle it. I think he's going to be ready. And he's going to be playing his brother, which is going to be his twin brother, who's having an outstanding season. He's probably the best DB, one of the best DBs in the CFL, but definitely some interesting news. Maddie, are you okay to chime in here real quick?
Yeah, I can jump in. What do we want to go with?
You're the one that texted me after, when you were doing your post game. I was at a family function, so I couldn't really chime in on the post game show, but you kind of texted me saying that Jarius Jackson announced on the post-game show Trey Ford would get the start. I just want your thoughts on it as the president of the Trey Ford fan club.
Yeah, well, I got to first give credit to Murray McCord of the VIP Golf Show Hangouts.
Our insider. Our
insider, absolutely. He texted me Friday. I brought it up on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show that he had heard from his source that the team was going to go with Trey Ford following the bye week, that he wasn't 100%, that if he needed to go into the game, if something happened to MBT, he could, but he would be 100% after the bye week, and they're riding with Trey Ford. And then immediately after the game, I know some people point to the MBT going down in that game, but you don't announce the quarterback change that quickly with that little injury. Unless you're sitting there saying MBT's done for the season. Yeah. That's why you're announcing Trey Ford. No, you're committing to Trey Ford, and it's not because of the injury. So I love this because I feel like if this is a team that ultimately is going to go win a Grey Cup, if this team is ultimately going to make any sort of damage in a playoffs, it's going to be with Trey Ford. But also at the same time, I don't care fully about 2024 still. I'm looking long-term. Okay. I have to look long-term with this franchise. And Trey Ford is a long-term quarterback for this team, not McLeod Bethel Thompson. So I would rather put all my eggs in the Trey Ford basket right now because I want to make sure I, one, know that this is a guy to put all my eggs in a basket for next year, but also that like he knows you're our guy. If you're Jarius Jackson, if you're G. Roy Simon, if you're Larry Thompson, you're our guy. And we believe in you, and go lead this team so that next year they could sign him and he could continue with this team. So to me, going to Trey Ford, it's doing two things. You are still trying to win this battle, but you're also trying to win the long-term war. With MBT, it would only be about this battle. Yeah. You're only focused on this battle, and you're risking losing the long-term war. So I love this move. I need to wait to see that depth chart. I won't believe it until I see that depth chart, and until I see that game. Because Jay told me, he's like, you got to apologize to Jerry's Jackson because I said they wouldn't do this. And I was like, I will, but not until I see it. When I see that depth chart, that green and gold kickoff show, I will give Jerry's Jackson full credit. But until then, there's still time for them to change their mind.
Because Maddie did say earlier last week, we're probably not seeing Trey Ford again.
I said, I don't know if we ever see him as a starting quarterback with this franchise ever again. But here we are.
I wonder what the Nassies think. Are you good with going to Trey Ford after McLeod? Bethel Thompson has won the last 2 games, sweeping the Labor Day series and just complete dominating fashion here because the games were not close. Calgary is in quite the mess. You listen to their head coach following the game and Gager. It's not good times in Calgary. Interesting to see if they stick with Bonner or if they go back to the veteran Jake Mayer. One of the guys who was at the game was having a hell of a time was our own YouTube Trev. And he's provided us with an excellent clip. Yeah! I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter, but it's just him and someone pans to him and he just does this random scream celebrating the Elks win. He's
so
really
focused.
Coming into his own.
Oh, yeah. So focused too, like anger focused. Like he was full on, as they say in the biz, with that one. Good job, Trev.
Every time something good happens, we're going to go with, yeah!
How do you not at this point? How do you not?
Speaking of that beauty, he is on vacation. We got Zachticum here. We have Matthew Wanek as well. It's Hernan Salas. It's Joaquin Gage. It's EST Afternoons. Coming up in the second segment, we'll recap an interesting, I will say interesting, I won't say entertaining, I'll say interesting Sunday in the NFL. Of course, we got the Niners and Jets tonight from San Francisco. That's all coming up here, an NFL recap on EST Afternoons. But first, here's Matthew Wanek with a sports update.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, they'll meet the 49ers for Monday Night Football, kickoff 6:15. You could join Lieutenant Eric at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge just off Fort Road and watch the game with him. Over in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers hit the ice for the captain's skate after their short offseason. The Oilers' first preseason game will be September 22nd against the Jets. Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. The award is given to the player that best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contributions to his team. Bassett will get the start today as the Jays open up a series against the Mets just after 5 o'clock. And a big announcement came this morning from the PWHL as the league announced all their team names. It included Montreal Victoire and Ottawa Charge as the team names. Coming up next, we continue with EST Afternoons. I'm Matt Wanek. You're up to date.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger or sausage and egger on a seeded bun or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Get ready, Edmonton. The moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time to celebrate the best of the best with the Estes, as we honor everything from Edmonton Sports Talk's incredible first year. Join us on September 17th at Metro Cinema for an unforgettable night of excitement, laughter, and recognition. Tickets are just $10. Secure your spot by emailing Matt at edmontonsportstalk.com. And after the show, let's keep the party going at Hudson's White Ave for the official after party. Mark your calendar, grab your tickets, and get ready to celebrate the best moments of EST. It's the Estes, September 17th.
6:22 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. It's EST afternoons. Gager, Salas. We got Zach. We got Matthew Wanick here as we're going to get to our NFL recap. But first, a couple messages here on the Edmonton Elks. That Owen guy says, absolutely go back to Trey. MBT is a great bridge guy, but Trey is the franchise quarterback. VR Montenegro says, Double E are a hydra quarterback and running back. So many heads on that beast. And they truly are. They got two quarterbacks they can go to and win games. And their running backs, I mean, pick one of the three, and they're all going to produce like they did on Saturday. But let's get to the NFL. It was an interesting Sunday. Gager, where do you want to start?
Where should we start?
Should we start with like kind of the big yikes of the weekend?
Well, yeah, because
your boy Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know it completely gross, just gross, ruining everyone's.
How many people threw him in a parlay?
Oh, yeah. How many
Bengals
parlays did he just wreck with that? Got to remember it's week one. Injury last year. I'm sure we'll see the real Joe Burrow at some point. But just, it does put a, I don't know. I thought we'd see more from him just because of the way he is and what he's capable of. And he looked like a lot of the rookie QBs that played this weekend.
But like our friend Zig said, it's like week 4 of the preseason.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And check this out, though. Under Zach Taylor, the Bengals are 1-10 during the first 2 weeks of the season.
That's what's I heard that stat earlier. Like they're the last 5 years, they're 1-5.
Yeah.
Like in the start of the season. So if you're a Bengals fan, like YouTube Trev, I think he picked them because of their helmets. Don't worry too much. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of quarterbacks. Bryce Young, poor young man, 13 of 30, 161 yards, 2 INTs, sacked 4 times as they get crushed by the Saints 47-10. I mean, Daniel Jones, the uniforms alone.
Oh gosh,
were awful. But this is also interesting. Since signing a 4-year, $160 million contract with the Giants before last season, Gager, Jones has thrown more TD passes to the opposition, 3 pick sixes, than to his own team. What do you do in that situation? It's going to be a long year for the New York Giants.
God, those jerseys were just horrendous. They look like a Montreal Canadiens men's league team with those things on. Just awful.
Yeah,
awful.
It was not good. I mean, I heard you and Dusty talking about it in the morning. Deshaun Watson, the guaranteed money they got. And you look across to Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield just putting up some nice numbers. And this guy, like, I was watching that first half. Gager, it wasn't a very entertaining game, but this guy couldn't complete even a 5-yard pass. Do you know how many first downs they had in the first half?
No.
Do you want to take a guess?
2.
1.
Really?
Yeah. They had 1 first down in the first half.
Well, Zig was right. But there were some good games too. Like I enjoyed a few of these things. Hopefully tonight's good, but I really liked that was good. The Sunday nighter was fantastic.
Good game. Two good teams.
Yeah. But I worry about the Rams. Well, I don't, because I don't know why it is. I told Dusty this morning I don't like the Rams. I don't know what it is about them.
Maybe it's that weird their numbers kind of weird me out on the jersey for some reason.
They're kind of round. They're rounded out. Yeah. I mean, Stafford's phenomenal. Like what he did last night was great, but I don't know what it is. I can't like the Rams for some reason, even though they've got some great players, really good players.
Yeah, I think those two teams are going to definitely give my Niners some hard times, but that was and obviously the Tyreek Hill situation. Like you know what, I woke up and I'm like, is this from today? Because the first thing you see on Twitter, then you do a little bit of homework, and you're like, holy, this happened right before the game. And then he scores a touchdown, and he does the whole getting arrested bit with his partner there. But
I hope there's body cam footage, because I mean,
there has to be.
It seems to me a little bit extravagant to get a guy on the ground on his stomach cuffing him.
Yeah.
For a traffic violation.
And when other players and staff were coming, like, hey, he's our player.
Yeah. I don't know how you don't know who Tyreek. Obviously, they don't do a good enough job in Miami to promote him. Like, he's one of the best players in the NFL. Like if you don't, it would be like, it'd be like Leon Draisaitl speeding and being on the ground before the game. That's what it would be like here. You'd think, wouldn't it?
What was your big yikes of the first NFL Sunday? Let us know at the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, or on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. There was some good moments, like you said. The Colts-Texans game was fantastic. Stroud and Richardson, each 2 touchdowns. Richardson 1 on the ground. Stephon Diggs, 2 TDs. Nico Collins, 117 yards receiving. Just these 2 young quarterbacks, man, we're very lucky to be able to watch them here for the next decade or so, going toe to toe, because that was a hell of a game, Gager.
Yeah. Another one, the Deshaun Watson debacle, a little bit. That's
You're enjoying that one.
I think everyone's
many
enjoying.
are. Yeah.
I think it's a little Chunga's revenge there, a little bit. So that was kind of nice to see.
Hey, the good DJ Dallas 96-yard kickoff return. Finally, we get a kickoff return in the NFL.
Yeah. How did you think the kickoff rule did this?
I saw some numbers late last night. I wish I would have written them down, because I still think it's improved slightly that they're kicking to the player, but it's still all going through the end zone.
Yeah.
And then when you see a guy like DJ Dallas take one back to the house, teams are like, yeah, we're not kicking to this guy.
Because I was thinking at the end of the Rams game last night, they come back and they're kicking the ball. I just think they're down by 3. If you implement a rule that if they don't kick it to them and allow them to come out, like, okay, now they're at the 40, and it's they're a lot closer to get into field goal range and tying up the game. There's the penalty for kicking it out or going outside.
You should almost force them to.
Yeah. It should. Getting points on the other end should be a lot easier. And I don't like you can't have an onside kick until the 4th too. I think you should be able to do that whenever you want.
Good for Sam Darnold, former Niner, 2 TDs and a big win over the Giants. This is what bothers me about the NFL sometimes. Chicago Bears won. Don't get me wrong. 24-17.
The back of the defense. So.
They came back, but it's like the headlines: new era in Chicago. Caleb Williams leads the Bears to first win.
Yeah.
He was 14 of 29, so under 50% for 93 yards, Gager. They scored their 2 touchdowns, one on a, was it a block punt return? Yeah. And then on an interception return, which was one of the worst throws I've seen in recent memory. But yeah, we got to pump the brakes here on giving the kudos to Caleb. Good on him. Hey, they won the game, but he wasn't a big part of the win for the Chicago Bears. And then, the narrative around the people that are just like, I'm just NFL.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like that's the only real football.
No, yeah. The Dusty's laid these out for.
I'll ask you this. If a team in the CFL won a game by kicking 6 field goals, what would they say?
Oh, they'd say there's no offense.
It's Bush League.
It's Bush League, yeah.
That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers do.
Yeah.
And one of the most boring games of the weekend, like that, because that one's free on cable, Gager, obviously. So I was watching that one, and just outside of a few big plays, I mean, Kirk Cousins once again struggled mightily in that one, but just that there's so many bad games in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, you look at the scores, I'm like, okay, some of them there's a few blowouts. Some are close, but I mean, Justin Fields, what was the 17 for 23, 156 yards, didn't throw a touchdown pass and won the game. How is that exciting? If
the Edmonton Elks won a game with 6 field goals, it would be the worst thing in the world. Another stat I'm going to give you. Obviously, there's one game to go, but week 1 NFL passing touchdowns, 33 so far, okay? Yep. You might get a few more. You might get 4 or 5 more of this. 2023, there is 37. 2022, there is 51, then 61, then 52, then 61. So what does that tell you?
Defense is awesome.
Offense is the defense are taking over. The offense is down. So I saw this on Twitter, and it was an American reporter who said, please give the CFL and college, if you're not already a fan, because those are truly the more exciting leagues.
Hey, last week, who did we have on? Nick Anderson talking about he wished he knew more about the CFL earlier. He wanted to see it broadcast more. I thought a few years ago, Dusty was running some numbers. This was at the old place, and he was saying at the beginning of the year, the actual numbers on, I don't know, ESPN, I don't know if it was on the Ocho or not, but they were quite good. Like, a lot of people were watching CFL games. Do you remember that, Maddie, at all? Do you remember those numbers?
Yeah, ESPN2 had, it was a few 100,000 that would tune in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the CFL Sports Network, they're not rated down south, so there's actually no numbers to know what those get.
But I'd like to see it. It should be broadcast more, especially for. I think it's in a perfect kind of window, right? It's right before the NFL season gets people ready, and they start going, "Oh, there's something to these games," right?
Because if you look at the slate yesterday, there's probably 3-4 really good games.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills, Arizona was entertaining. Like you said, the Sunday Nighter was good. Texans, Colts was good. But like when you look at the whole landscape, there's a lot of duds, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the reason the NFL is huge is betting and fantasy, right? Like that's why everybody's so into it.
Yeah.
So
It makes it interesting that way.
I did win one of my parlays.
Oh, nice.
Second parlay was prop bets.
Yeah.
I had 6. I had 5. I needed CD Lamb 70 yards receiving. You know what he finished with?
69.
61.
What do you think of the Tom Brady Did you listen at all? First of all, or?
I did. I think there's a lot of potential there. But there was a lot of awkward silence, and sometimes you can almost feel that he didn't know what to say or where to go.
Yeah.
His partner's really good. Like he helped him out by jumping in and kind of helping him with what he was trying to get out there as a point. But yeah, I mean, room for improvement for sure. But this is a guy that, that's not his thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think Matty said in the morning show, he only had a year or maybe to plan for this, because once you go live, man, it's tough for someone who's never done it before.
Like,
right?
Yeah, he sounded like me on the Sportsnet broadcast. That's how he sounded. It's tough because it's quicker. It's way quicker than, radio or things like that. And you're trying to, it sounded like to me he was trying to find something intelligent to talk about instead of just watching the game, and it's a fine line, right? I think, but I would have loved to have heard him talk more about what he sees as a quarterback offensively and how he would do things, and just go with what you know. Yeah. Don't try to do almost too much, and that at certain times that's how it felt forced a little bit.
And a few times he said like the wrong position group, and like you can tell he was just, and obviously nerves are a big part of it. Because I remember when Tony Romo came in, I really liked him.
I love Tony Romo.
Can someone explain to me why people have soured on him?
I have no idea.
Because he's not good anymore. He can't. He hasn't grown. He hasn't developed.
So he stayed the same.
He doesn't predict plays as much anymore because he was slapped on the wrist by other teams. They didn't want that. They didn't want him predicting their plays. And two, listen to him next time you watch a game with him calling it. Just listen to what he says and tell me what of substance did he give you. That's all. That's the homework assignment I'm going to give you for next weekend. Watch Tony Romo's game and tell me what of substance he goes with in a game.
What did he do this weekend? Which game? He's with CBS, right?
Yes.
Him and Jim Nantz?
Yeah,
correct.
I didn't listen to him.
I didn't hear.
Because the reviews on Tom Brady, they weren't great.
Great.
But I think people also held back just because of who he is.
Yeah,
like people didn't want to be completely honest.
Well, you can't hit him over the head with this thing.
No, of course not.
It's I'm looking forward to what he brings over the next few weeks. I'm sure it'll get completely different after a while, right? But they paid him a lot of money.
A lot of money. And just to, we got a few texts coming in on the way the Steelers won the game. No disrespect to Chris Boswell, their kicker. 6 field goals, Gager, 3 from beyond 50. And then their punter got hurt, and he wailed the punter. This guy's obviously very, very talented. I'm bringing on the narrative that this stuff only happens in the CFL, and that's why it's Bush League. It is not. It happens at the NFL level too. 1:37 here in Edmonton. We're inside the William Huff Studios here on the west end of the city. On the other
Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, they head out west. They will take on the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy in Monday Night Football action. You could join Lieutenant Eric at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day, to watch the game kick off 6:15. Over in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers hit the ice for their captain's skate today after their short off-season. Oilers' first game goes September 22nd against the Jets. Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. The award is given to the player that best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. The Blue Jays start their series against the Mets tonight just after 5 o'clock, with Bassett getting the start. And the PWHL announced earlier this morning their team names and unveiled their logos. Amongst the names include the Ottawa Charge and the Boston Fleet. The Boston Fleet. Thank you, Zach. Coming up next, newest member of the Edmonton Elks coaching staff, Aaron Grymes, joins Hernan and Gager. I'm Matt Iwanek. You're up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road. Park Mazda does.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
1:40 Monday afternoon. It's EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Static free since 23. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage. Behind the camera, we have Matthew Wanick and Zachticum, who's promised to bring a freestyle rap one of these days this week. So he just needs a good beat, Gager.
Yeah, he needs a lot more than that.
As we now welcome in from the Edmonton Elks, new defensive assistants with the Elks and community ambassador, our guy, Aaron Grymes. AG, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to know, Hernan, did you choose that intro music? Because you were like feeling it a lot just now.
No,
going on.
That's all Matthew wanted. But just like Zachary, if I get a good beat, man, I get moving. So it's all good. AG, we're going to start with the hard-hitting questions here. What did you think of the Elks owner, Larry Thompson, driving through the Calgary Stampeders bench there? One of the moments of the year in the CFL.
Outside of handing it to Calgary on our home turf, that was my second favorite part of the night.
Aaron, last week when we had you on, you weren't with the club just yet, and then later the week it was announced that you're the new defensive assistant with the Edmonton Elks, as well as community ambassador. Just tell us about your new roles and how this all came to be.
Yeah, defensive assistant. So kind of learning on the coaching side of things. Obviously, we spoke about this. You guys know coaching is what I want to do when I got done playing. So working hand in hand right now with the DB coach, who is a phenomenal coach, by the way. Shout out to Coach Klund. He's very welcoming, very smart man. These guys are lucky to have him. And then also with Coach Shives, the defensive coordinator. So during game day, I was up in the press box trying to help out Aaron and TC with personnel, and mostly just trying not to mess anything up on my first day. making sure they were getting the right things down there. And then that community ambassador, man, you absolutely love being in the community. So best of both worlds for me.
Aaron, obviously you're going to be a regular on our show. I don't know what this means. You probably be right up to defensive coordinator by the end of this. You keep making appearances on here, but tell us a little bit. I'm interested in you being in the press box. What do you look for from the DBs? Are you looking at how the routes that the receivers are running, or what they can do to looking at the turnovers that happened last game? Obviously, the defense of the Elks is playing at a different level right now. What do you look for during games that can help guys actually on the field?
Yeah. First, I will have to say I will not take credit for all the turnovers that I just got here. That was not me. But certainly when I'm up there, it was my first game. So Coach Clun and Shives were like, just kind of get a feel for it. If you see things from your perspective, you played the game for a long time, let us know, right? A couple of route concepts, maybe, they're running certain route concepts at a certain spot of the field and they keep running them, things like that. And then mostly like Erin Craig up there is helping the defense. So she was killing it, man. She's writing down route concepts, watching the iPad. When the team is the opposing offense is coming on the field, it's, hey guys, it's 5R. Hey guys, extra O-lineman coming in the game, 2L, two-back pony, letting Coach Shives and the defensive guys know the personnel, the down and distance, and which hash mark it is, so that they can get the right call out there to the defense and put them in the best position possible to make a play.
Aaron, let's look at the game on Saturday. Offensively, kind of a slow start, then they were able to pick it up with some big plays. The rushing game alone is just top notch now for the Elks. Defensively, 5 picks, 9 in total in these in the Labor Day series. Just what are you seeing confidence wise from this team? Because it seems they're just knocking it out in every facet, special teams, defensively, offensively.
Absolutely. We're looking at a team right now that's playing with extreme confidence. I mean, we believe we can beat anybody in the league right now. And, one of the biggest things heading into this playoff race is the team that's the hottest at the right time and the most injury-free ends up taking it pretty far, right? You look at Montreal last year. You're looking at a team that's playing complementary football, right? Offense is making big plays. The run game is second to none in the league right now. So offense is staying on the field, which I know as a former defender gives you all the confidence in the world and all the rest in the world, so that when you take the field, you're fresh every single time. And that's when turnovers and big plays happen.
Go ahead, Hernan.
Aaron, I was just going to ask, the next opponent is, you were with them for a bit this year. It's Winnipeg, Edmonton, 2 hottest teams in the CFL. Both teams on a bye. As a player, when you guys were rolling like this, did you almost want to just keep it rolling, or are guys taking this bye as just a quick little rest and reset and get back to their winning ways again? Or how did you see it as a player when you're rolling and you had to go on a bye week?
Yeah, it's actually at a good time, right? Like the team, I didn't earn a bye week by any means. I just got here. But
You're working, right?
Exactly. But when I was playing, you took the bye week to kind of rest up some of those nagging injuries, right? You heard the saying, nobody's healthy right now in terms of 100% health. So you take some downtime to recover your bodies, but you're still working out. And the good teams, like obviously we are, they're making sure they're doing whatever they need. So when we come back from the bye week, we don't take a step back.
So now, Aaron, basically you look at the last 2 games of the Elks taking care of business, right? These were 2 games, I think, when you looked at the schedule, how the team was playing, predicting 2 victories. But now is where the rubber really can hit the road here. I think we were talking about a few weeks ago that if the Elks go into this next back-to-back series looking at a split, they're sitting quite well going into hopefully a playoff position. What over the next 2 weeks is the team looking at doing? And now with the announcement that Trey's going to be at the helm of this team, what over the next 2 weeks is going to prepare the team to be successful, not only in that first game, but maybe taking 2 games from a really good Bombers team?
Well, I think J-Jack is doing a phenomenal job right now of just letting guys know it's one day at a time, right? There's no point in us looking too far in the future. The obvious is the obvious. We control our own destiny right now based on how the schedule lays out for us, right? In terms of playing a lot of West teams and West teams that are in playoff position. So at this point, it's taking it one day at a time and not making each game too big, right? It's just the next game on the schedule. we're prepared. We know that we can compete with anybody in this league on any given day. And when that day comes, we go out there, we roll out our best football, and we let the chips fall where they may.
We also had Nick Anderson that also had an extremely good game over the weekend. Just tell us a little bit about him, just the smaller statured guy, but a little ball of hate. We heard he just hits like a truck. He's aiming for the backside of people when he's crushing. Tell us a little bit about his progression, being a rookie in this league and essentially playing like a veteran right now.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, a rookie who's now starting to play like a veteran, and that comes with reps. That comes with snaps, right? In-game experience. Even in the beginning of the season, you would watch him, he would fly around, and he was going to make some plays, and he was going to hurt you if he hit you, right? And I was watching that as a spectator, you know, but then now being in the building, speaking with the coaches, speaking with the players, and speaking with him, you can tell it's starting to get to that point now in the season where, yeah, you're still a rookie, but you've got enough games under your belt to where the game is slowing down for you. And we watched the game slow all the way down for him this weekend, right? With a couple of turnovers, a couple of big hits. Definitely. And so now it's just putting all those pieces of the puzzle together, which he's doing a great job of.
Aaron Grymes, member of the Edmonton Elks coaching staff as a defensive assistant. And now, Aaron, I put you on the spot a bit here. You were in Winnipeg, and we all know what Trey Ford can do here. Very talented, athletic player. His twin brother down in Winnipeg's having an outstanding season, leads the league in picks, and probably could have double digits by now. I know he's dropped a few, but he's looked outstanding. What can you tell us about Tyrell Ford?
Much like Trey, man, just phenomenal athleticism out there at the field corner. Very good ball skills, great eyes, right? You'll see him a lot peeking in the backfield, but it's not necessarily just peeking in the backfield. He knows what he's seeing back there. He's reading 3-step, 5-step drops. He's starting to understand route concepts, and teams are trying him, and he's making them pay for trying him. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, the twin brothers go at each other. You got to assume Trey's going to go at his own brother, right? Eventually.
Do you go up to him?
Yeah.
Do you go up to Trey before the game and say who's the better brother? Like don't be the lesser of the two. Do you light the fire a little bit maybe, or is it unnecessary?
With Trey's the quarterback, so I'm gonna let the quarterback be in his own world. Like that's a very mental position. I think we go to Tyrell and say, "Hey, what do you think?" See if we can get in that head a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Aaron, thank you for taking the time to join us on this Monday. Once again, congratulations on the new gig. Absolutely deserved. It's great to seeing you in the green and gold colors once again. Say hi to everyone down there on the second floor of the coaches' rooms, and we'll chat soon, my friend.
I appreciate you guys, Joaquin, Hernan. Hey, let's always keep it Larry, baby. Keep it Larry.
Keep it Larry.
Keep it Larry.
Go ahead, baby.
Congratulations, Aaron. That's great.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
It's Aaron. That, but thinking of the game coming up for the Elks with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Elks haven't won in 10 straight games. They're on a 10-game losing streak against the ball. And why I'm bringing this up, they're due, especially the way they're playing.
Yeah. Oh, I don't take much into that right now. They've already the losing is over with the Elks right now. It's a completely different team that we've seen since for the past 2 years. I think even in the latter part of the season last year, it was still, in a sense, garbage time of the season. Although there was some good performances, to do it when it matters means more to you as a player, builds way more confidence, I think. So like you said, buddy, they're due for a win. And I think it's just going to be a phenomenal 2 games of football.
Because if you can get the first one at home, you're playing with house money in that second.
I know, and it was good to hear Aaron say that's you do not want to look too far ahead. But I tell you right now, it's impossible as a player not to. You get the standard, one game at a time, one shift at a time, one play at a time, one snap at a time. But no, you see you can if we can get this one, we can set ourselves up pretty good moving forward from here.
Because I know their mentality right now is, on a week-to-week basis. Go 1-0.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about anything else. Everything else will take care of itself. And it's interesting because the Riders are on a 7-game, I wouldn't say losing because they tied, but winless streak. And Saskatchewan, as you know, they're going crazy right now. And I like their coach. I think he's fantastic. And I know I was listening to their post-game show a bit yesterday while I went for a walk. And a lot of people are asking for the quarterback change. Go with the younger guy, but kind of the same mentality we have. A lot of fans have here in Edmonton, where Trevor Harris is not your future.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
go with Shea Pat. And I think it's a lot harder for the coach to go when you're on a 7-game winless streak instead of winning 5 of your last 6 games. I think it's easier to make that move, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens out in the West here because BC is going to drop games. Winnipeg, these next 2 games are going to be just full goal, and that's a team that's playing lights out right now, just like the Elks. Because if you did a ranking right now, those are your top 2 teams.
I think so. Even though the record of Montreal, I think BC coming on too, though. It's good. It's
like it's scary that Rourke's finding his groove, right?
He's little scary.
He's still throwing a lot of picks, but I mean, it's once he gets going and that talent they have at receiver, and then they have VA backing him up. So just look at the teams. Edmonton, well, I wouldn't say Winnipeg has 2 good quarterbacks. They have a guy who runs like a running back, but he can't really throw, right? And he got hurt as well. So, but Edmonton and BC are kind of loading up at the right time because they have 2 quarterbacks. They're finding their groove in every aspect of the game. And something that we didn't mention about the Elks, Boris Beatty was perfect on the night, and that's an excellent sign for the veteran.
Yeah, no, it's hopefully it was just a matter of time before he found the form of the previous season and get that average back up to that 90% range where it was instead of this down in the 70s like my high school average.
Hey, that's not bad, though.
That's not too bad.
Coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk some Oilers. We're going to hear from Jeff Skinner, and we're going to continue the Elks and NFL talk. You're listening to EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Reminder, you can listen live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, or watch on the EST YouTube channel. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat on YouTube or on the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Up next in hour 2, we'll talk some Oilers.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets meet the 49ers tonight for Monday Night Football action. Join Lieutenant Eric and the Nasties down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for all the action on Monday and Thursday Night Football. Over in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers hit the ice for the captain's skate today after their short offseason. The Oilers' first preseason game is September 22nd against the Jets. Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. The award is given to the player that best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. The Blue Jays start their set tonight against the Mets, with Chris Bassett starting on the mound just after 5. A big announcement from the PWHL came out today, with the league announcing all of their team names. The Ottawa Charge and the Minnesota Frost are among some of those names. I'm Zachary Kubusch, who can actually freestyle, and now you know.
I saw the cigarette sitting on the windowsill last Saturday night. You only smoke when you drink, you only drink when you're mad, you're only mad when we fight. I should have trusted my gut, but I didn't. Guess I should have known a little earlier on. I should have trusted my gut, but I didn't. Guess I should have known a little earlier on that I was
158, hour 2 here on EST Afternoons. I'm Hernan Salas, joined by Joaquin Gage and the big Z behind the camera, Zach. Just heard his sports update there. So we're going to get to some Edmonton Oilers talk, as they had one of their first skates of the unofficial season here. Courtesy of Tommy Gazzola, who was down there. These are the players that were on the ice, Gager. McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, Hyman, Rico, Enrique, Ekholm, Connor Brown, Arvidsson, Skinner, that's Jeff Skinner, Perry, Kulak, Stuart Skinner, Picard, Savoy, Stetcher, Bouchard, and Lavoie. How excited are you, Gager?
Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be perfectly honest, buddy. I don't like the earliness of this. This is to me, I don't think there's a need to be on the ice this early for these guys. They finished a long run.
That's a good point.
It's not like they haven't been on the ice as of yet. Like they've probably been wherever we've seen snippets of these guys on there. I'll stand by it. I think maybe a couple hard days skate and then a getaway with the families would be much better suited for this team. You don't need to be on the ice as much as they are. This is a veteran team, okay? It's ridiculous.
Are you not okay with it because of the short time off? Okay. So you're okay with the captain skate last year?
No.
No? Okay.
No, because they started like a month ago. It was way too much.
You're a former pro athlete, and I worked with the pro team, and how early is too early to show up before a game?
Oh, before a game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one because there's some guys.
Let's say at home.
At
home?
On
the road is different, right?
Yeah. No, an hour and a half is fine. That's just fine. It's just enough. I think you can. I mean, I went with guys were there like 3 hours before.
Yeah.
One time it was a couple years ago, I saw Pavelski walking across the street. And it was like 3:30, and I yelled out my window. I go, "Hey, aren't your sticks ready already? Yeah. Like they're pre-made. You don't have to cut them down anymore."
But some guys, I guess, just like to relax, have their coffee, hang out.
I know, but I just I think it's too much time at the rink. You kind of get stale a little bit.
That's the word, stale. I'd love to have someone on that can kind of talk to that, like where it's being at a game 4 hours before kickoff or puck drop or whatever it is it too much?
2 hours is the max, I think. But sometimes that depends on, you don't want to be stuck in traffic. Like you don't want anxiety getting to the rink on time. I understand that point. Yeah. So, because sometimes I would show up a little bit earlier just because I wanted to make sure if there was a meeting or you wanted to meet with your line mates or things like that, if you did need some extra attention from the trainers, I can understand that side of things. But everyone has I won't say they're superstitious, but there's tons of, in every sport, there's a pregame ritual.
Yeah, of course.
That if you were to record it, it would be like you're watching the same movie over and over again, because guys usually do the exact same thing game to game to game.
Because I know on the road with the Elks, our buses would, like, say we played at 7, first bus leaves at 4, second one left at 4:20. And depending on where you were, it'd take 15, 20, 30 minutes sometimes to get there. So you're getting there about 2 hours and a half before.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, usually those buses were planned for, hour 45, hour and a half before the games. And then there would be some guys that took cabs earlier. If you wanted to go earlier, you were kind of on your own that way.
Yeah, and some players would go earlier before the buses and Uber there.
Yeah.
And like you said, everybody has their routine, though. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm not trying to dog on anyone that goes early or goes later, but I'm just curious, is for you as a pro athlete, were you the early guy, or were you kind of, I'm good?
I liked time to relax, but I didn't want too much time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone.
But then you're overthinking it. And
then you don't want to lose kind of your focus, right? I found that was just enough to stay, like, in the pocket, so to speak.
Buzz in Nebraska at the Paris Julian's inbox, 780-218-9999 says, I always hated the time before a game, like after game day skate or day stuff. That's where the stale to me sets in.
After
a game day skate.
Yeah, well,
hockey's different because you do the morning skate. Yeah,
but now they don't, right? Cass and I would talk about this a lot. I was a guy that I liked the morning skate, just got kind of everything going a little bit. And if there was anything wrong with my equipment, I could fix it. It would be like completely bone dry in the morning. So you'd want to, I liked it a little bit loose, not too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I understand the whole theory now because I'm shocked that the Oilers don't skate early, like on pregame skates, or maybe a couple guys go out. But I understand the saving it for a game. But for me personally, I wanted to feel pucks at least at one point during the day before, like, warm up, because that's useless.
Herb's Hose says, Gager, my son's high school football team requires him to be there almost 2.5 hours before game time.
Jesus. What time are games?
7. So you're there at 4:30.
Yeah, like there's.
And I get it
for high school. That's not fair, really. Like, you're getting out of school. It's just a rush to get there. You're grabbing something to eat on it. Like, it just.
You're getting treatment. Like, but at the pro level, you see that guys get treatment, guys get taped up. Some guys like to eat at the stadium, right? So like, you go early so you can just get it in before you get to warm-ups and all that. But
the only time I would say it's good to get there early is baseball, because those clubhouses, right? Like, I've seen pictures of these. It's deluxe in there, and they got chefs in there.
They're playing cards, video games.
That's then I could see you getting there a little bit earlier, but other than that, no.
Yeah, I've just been fast because with my time in the CFL, like I saw a lot of players go out really early. I saw other players that wouldn't go out till warm-ups, and like, you know what I mean? So I was always curious, but I guess it's on an individual basis when you want to warm up or get ready and all that. It's a mental thing.
And Connor did say, like, I believe it was on Friday, how he hadn't gone on the ice a lot. Like, he felt.
Yeah, it's a good point.
He felt that he was on there too much, and I equate, like, you got to find the right. Getting in the right zone as a player, and I was always envious of established NHLers who could get into camp, and obviously they came in shape. No one came in like a tub of lard or anything like that, but they kind of knew that they were going to push themselves in camp and get into, like, game shape, right? Whereas if you're a bubble guy, you don't want any sort of hesitation from the coaching staff to think, oh, this guy didn't work hard. So you're peaking quite early, and you just can't sustain it for that length of time. So I think there is something to feel, oh, you know what? I haven't been on the ice a lot, but I can really use camp to get to the point where I need to be for the start of the regular season, instead of trying to peak at the moment camp starts as you're trying out for a team.
For you, when's the perfect? Because I think this weekend the rookies camp or tournament kicks off, and then I think it's a week after that main camp.
Yeah.
For you, when's the ideal time to start skating with your teammates?
With the teammates,
is it just training camp pretty much?
I wouldn't be opposed to a couple practice skates with the team. Like, I understand that, but I mean, last year they were on the ice in captain skates for weeks, 3-4 times a week. That was just too much at a high intensity level, right? So obviously they're having fun too, but I think there's something to toning it, not maybe 80% in that time.
Yeah.
And then when you hit the training camp, I'm sure Nobla has it structured where you're going to hit, 85, 90, 95, and then really ramp it up before the start of the season. So just so you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
It's like a sprinter. If you ever hear a sprinter get it, like a world-class sprinter preparing for the Olympics, it's all a progression. That's what you want.
Scalding Gord says being early is actually the reason Tommy didn't make it to the NHL.
Tommy didn't even show up today. Yeah, Reed's here. Reed was at the rink.
here, and he went to the rink.
Yeah, Tommy just likes his home studio, I guess. Maybe there's more news from Kelly's. We'll see.
Yeah, and you had there's the article on the Score regarding Stan Bowman's comments for the Broberg Holloway offer sheets. He chatted with the Athletics. Pierre LeBrun said the players can probably grow into those deals, but as of today, they're way above their actual performance. I mean, this is in the past now. Like the players are long gone. What did you have to make of Stan Bowman? And he also said the way it's being portrayed is also a little bit unfair. That the Oilers were doing some sort of poor faith negotiating. So he's kind of pushing back on that they were lowballing or they were pushing him to the back and all that. Like it's interesting because you heard Dylan Holloway in his second interview with St. Louis media, and he said, "Yeah, the way the Oilers handled it was kind of weird." That's what he said.
Look, this is what GMs do to players in those positions, especially when you're challenging for a Stanley Cup. This is where you kind of can squeeze guys to get under the cap. There's two ways to look at it. It's either, I look at what the Oilers are getting. What's my best chance? Do I have a chance to win the cup and really maximize my value as a Stanley Cup champion? Or, do I take a different route and line my pockets with considerable money than what they would get with the Oilers? I completely understand that. I don't think it was negotiated in bad faith or what have you. This is what happens. That's what GMs do.
Yeah.
So, and he's right. I mean, the amount of money that you're giving, that the St. Louis Blues gave Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, far exceeds their current ability.
Yeah. Especially Broberg.
Yeah. But the issue is I mean, we saw Oilers fans and myself. I thought, gosh, that's if Broberg hits and does what we think he could do and what he was able to accomplish at the most important time of the season, could he grow into that salary? Definitely. Could Dylan Holloway become the forward that we think he could be? Absolutely. But the amount of money that they're getting now they're not worth it.
And I think for Dylan Holloway too, maybe his agent maybe was more annoyed than Dylan Holloway was, but you've seen Corey Perry signed for a year. You're seeing some guys that are going to be like that fourth line, kind of in and out of the lineup, getting deals before. Do you think maybe that he took it a little personal?
I mean, I don't think he took it personal that they were giving Corey Perry the money.
No.
I think he might have taken it personal that they weren't prioritizing him first in the matter of importance to the team, right? And I don't know exactly what the numbers that they were negotiating at, but maybe that was a little bit of a factor. I'm still in the camp that thinks that Dylan Holloway thought there was a really good chance that they were going to match. And it because look, he's going to, and it's not I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but he's going to go into a new system with my old buddy Drew Bannister and have to reprove himself that he belongs on the squad, right? He has to show them what he's capable of. Here in Edmonton, they knew where they wanted Dylan Holloway to go and what he was and kind of where he slots in. And I mean, I think there was possibilities of him moonlighting and moving up the lineup. Who knows what's going to happen with injuries and things like that. But he took a gamble on himself. I mean, a lot of eyes will be on St. Louis this year to watch what these guys can do. And I think it's December the first game against the St. Louis Blues. That'll be one to circle on the calendar.
Could you look at Broberg and he's either going to play with Justin Falk or Colton Parayko?
Yeah, I would definitely put him with Parayko if I was Drew.
Yeah.
But then you look at that forward group. Tell me where Dylan Holloway fits in.
Third line.
Yeah, he's not top six. No, they're stacked, and even that bottom six is going to be difficult.
The sample size is small on Dylan Holloway, but I never pictured him as a first liner. I think he can moonlight on the second line when needed, like, when there's always that lull in the season and you need to shake things up. But I think Dylan Holloway is perfectly suited for a third line. He doesn't play a lot of power play. He might in St. Louis. He doesn't kill penalties. He might in St. Louis, but right now you're just getting a guy that is going to play that 12 to 15 mark and not give you much on specials. Because if you look at, he's not Jake Neighbors, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Braden Shen, Buchnevich. He's not passing them on the depth chart for power play time.
They have to be playing very poorly for him to...
or injury.
Injury. But what do you think the ceiling is? Like, when I saw Dylan Holloway, I thought he could be... His top end is maybe a Warren Foegele at his best. Is that...
I think he can go a little bit better than that. I'm not saying Warren Foegele's a terrible player.
No.
But I think he might have a little more offense than Warren Foegele. Because Warren Foegele reminded me a lot of Toddy Marchand. He gets a lot of breakaways and just can't finish.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where I'm at with... It's tough because I'm just trying to pull it up here. We got a nasty chat here from Ugrom. Yeah. Holloway was only ever drafted to be a third line center.
I don't think you.
And that might be fair, but here in Edmonton,
yes,
we overvalue every player because we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fan base was like playing with McDavid, playing with Draisaitl. He had some success with Draisaitl. He scored some beauties in the playoffs, but I still don't see him as a everyday second line player, Gager, especially at center.
Not yet, anyway. Right? Definitely not yet.
Who do you? If you could keep one, you would have kept Broberg.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, definitely.
Because you can kind of fill in where Holloway was going to.
There's a lot more Holloways on the tree than there are Brobergs. Bones is in. What do you think about Holloway saying his wrist is mangled? Yeah, he had that interview where he can't do a push up because he can't bend his left wrist back.
He's had like 2 surgeries on
that. Yeah, so it's a good thing that it's his bottom hand.
Okay.
Because it doesn't require a ton of movement to control the stick with your bottom hand. Still doesn't hurt to have it a little bit, but that was fascinating to me when he mentioned about his wrist, saying, I still don't have a lot of mobility in my wrist. So, look, he still shot the puck pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think that...
and St. Louis did their due diligence and making sure that it's not going to hamper his career and all that. Because
they already had Krug that's out for the season because of his arthritic ankle. I think he's done, but still.
He's a lot older. I think what hurts for Oiler fans is that you invested more time in Broberg, obviously, than Holloway, and that when he might take that next step, because in the playoffs he was awesome.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of him in the playoffs. To step in like that and be the third best defenseman on the team, that was one game away from winning the Stanley Cup, was awesome. So I think that hurts is that, and he was a little bit disgruntled.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what good teams do. They let their guys play in the A and get that experience. And look, it didn't hamper him. It only helped him. And look at him now. He's making killer money. that it's an extreme overpay by the St. Louis Blues. But if he turns into something, man, I mean, I think Oiler fans are going to be, well, not fans, but I think the manager is going to be kicking themselves.
It didn't work out. It was too. They couldn't do it. They couldn't. That's too much money to pay him where the Oilers were at, and it was a great move by the Blues. And I think it lines up very good for Broberg going to St. Louis and playing with a defenseman the caliber of Colton Parayko, if that's who they have him penciled in with.
Yeah, and I think we're all going to be watching the Blues closely. I want to see how Dylan Holloway does. Like that probably, because I know Broberg is probably going to be okay. But Dylan Holloway is the one that intrigues me the most.
Well, yeah, where he's going to go into the same type of role, I think, right? It's got to be. Got to be.
Less pressure. Less pressure as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
All right, we got more Oilers talk. We'll hear from Jeff Skinner, who's down at the Oilers skate tonight. We had Reed Wilkins and Tommy Gazzola down. There's a handful, more than a handful of players are already skating. Gager's not a fan of it. He thinks it's too early. I think I agree with him as well, but we'll hear from Jeff Skinner here, and maybe we'll talk about what we should expect from the veteran forward who's never played a game in the playoffs. A pretty good, actually an excellent opportunity this year. He's probably going to break that streak. That's all coming up next here on EST Afternoons with Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. But first, the sports update with Zach.
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets meet the 49ers tonight for Monday Night Football action. Join Lieutenant Eric and the Nasties down at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for all Monday and Thursday night football games. After being pulled out of yesterday's match, LA Rams receiver Puka Nacua is considered week to week with a knee injury. He had 4 catches for 35 yards before he was pulled midway through the second quarter against the Lions. Over in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers hit the ice for Captain Skate today after their short offseason. The Oilers start their preseason September 22nd against the Jets. Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. The award is given to the player that best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contributions to his team. The Blue Jays start their set tonight against the Mets just after 5 with Chris Bassett on the mound. Big announcement has come from the PWHL with the league announcing all of their team names. The Ottawa Charge and the Minnesota Frost are among some of those names. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and that was your Edmonton Sports Talk sports update. And now, you're up to date.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger or sausage and egger on a seeded bun or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
Monday afternoon here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zach behind the camera. Oilers hit the ice today for a skate, first one of the year, of a shortened summer.
Very short.
Very, very short. McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, Hyman, Ekholm, Arvidsson, the few of the names that were there. There's about just over 10 there, and they were down there at the community rink skating around, getting ready for the upcoming season. One of the new guys, Jeff Skinner, is in town, as is Arvidsson, two guys that I think many Oiler fans are very excited to see play with this team. I heard Dusty's lines today. I'll say that I wasn't a fan of Arvidsson on the third, but I
that was the best. Oh, Dusty's yelling. That was the best third line in the league.
No, you got to play him with either McDavid or he's far. Like what I love about Arvidsson, he can do it all. He's a good passer. He can shoot, and he gets under your skin. I think you need him in that top 6. But I'll say this: I didn't mind it, but for me, because I think he had Savoy in the top 6, which is kind of like the wild card. Like he has all the talent. He's a good prospect. We just don't know if he's going to crack the team right off the hop here.
Arvidsson will be on the second power play. It'll be fine.
Are they going to run a second power play?
No. No.
Oh, man. It's just going to be great to see them. But one of the new guys did meet with the media down there after the skate, Jeff Skinner, who has yet to play a playoff game in his career. And like I said, going to break, he's probably going to break that streak here with the Edmonton Oilers. But let's hear from Jeff Skinner down there in the Edmonton rink.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's nice to get out there and meet everyone, get some rust off from the travel, and yeah, it was fun.
You get to know a group of guys. It's been a few years since you come in. Everybody knows about, you haven't been in the playoffs. How excited are you? Do you feel different coming into a team that went to the Cup Finals, being in the playoffs a lot, that you feel like you can get there this year?
Yeah, there's definitely some excitement. Obviously, I think everyone saw the run I went on last year, and I think you got a lot of guys that are hungry to repeat that run. So, yeah, I'm just looking to be a part of it, I think, and just trying to be a piece of the puzzle. And yeah, I think obviously it's a long way to go. Just try and keep working on it, get better every day, and obviously this is just my first day here, so just excited right now.
What do you do to get to know your new teammates?
I don't know how to talk to them. I think like over the years I've sort of crossed paths with a few of them. Obviously there's a lot of guys from around the Toronto area, so I've sort of seen guys in the summer. I'll play Worlds with Pears and Nuge. Play minor hockey with Zach Hyman. So I think, and then you know guys. Obviously the hockey world's pretty small. You know guys that have played with each guy. So it's it doesn't take long, I don't think, and seems like a great group of guys. So excited to get to know them.
You're in a position to play with one of two very elite centers in this game. What's that like being a guy who knows how to score goals and with a spot next to, again, a top 5 player in the world?
Yeah, I think everyone sort of knows how good the centermen are on this team. I think every team in the league is looking for center depth. So as a winger, it's nice to know you're going to play with good players, sort of up and down the lineup. So I think, yeah, it's exciting.
That was Jeff Skinner meeting with the media, and the craziest start. You see how many microphones down there?
That's
Holy
crazy.
smokes.
Although I didn't like hearing so many pucks hitting the glass. Let's zero in the sights on those sticks.
Hey, it's early. It's early. That's why they comment early.
I guess I was wrong. They needed more captain skates with that. Did you hear anything? Like, it was all pucks hitting the glass.
Yeah. It got pretty noisy.
I remember a coach I had came out like we were practicing. He was still in his room and started yelling at us because all he heard was bang, bang, bang. Yeah, that was terrible, boys. Hit the net.
Jeff Skinner, 32 years old. He's entering his 15th season in the NHL. His best season was 2 years ago, 22-23 with the Buffalo Sabres. 79 games. He had 35 goals, 47 assists, 82 points.
How old is he?
He's 32.
Looks 16.
Well, didn't he come in right after Carolina won the Cup?
Oh.
No. He came in 2010 with, sorry, I'm confused, with Taylor Hall. Same draft.
Same draft?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was 7th overall to the Carolina Hurricanes. So
I like what he said. I like the fact, he's holding back a little bit there, saying that there's some very elite centermen, and it's exciting to play with really good players. But again, it's a whole feeling out process. It's not everyone's always a mesh.
And he's just getting to know, like you said, he grew up with Hyman playing, but he's getting to know probably Connor and Leon. And
played with Nuge at World Championships, so there's some familiarity there, it always helps to play with a certain player before. Sometimes, jumping on the ice with a guy and you don't really know, it's like, oh my gosh, we got some instant chemistry and stuff. So
where did Dusty have Skinner in his lineup?
Top with McDavid and Nuge.
So you're taking Hyman off that line. So you're splitting up.
No. He had Hyman, Skinner.
Oh, he's taking Nuge off the line.
Nuge with Draisaitl and Savoy. So I don't mind it.
Interesting. And
you're probably going to see it at some point. Like these aren't set. These lines are never set in stone.
No,
it's just I'm trying to figure out. It would be. I mean, I don't take anything from preseason, but I would be very interested to see that combination starting game one.
And that's the great thing is because Leon and Connor McDavid are so great that you think you can slide anyone and they can have success. And we've seen that's not the case.
That's not the case at all.
It's got to fit. So Skinner's probably going to get the first look. Maybe Arvidsson gets a look with Draisaitl, but it might flip. Maybe Arvidsson's better with McDavid and Skinner's. And that's the best part about training camp in the preseason because we all pencil these guys in, right? But sometimes it's easy to play with McDavid. No, it's probably really hard.
Yeah.
Because he thinks the game at a whole different level.
Well, yeah, you need brilliant players to play with someone that processes the game at his speed, right? Like and it takes time to find that. So
like Draisaitl's had success, Nuge, sure, Hyman for sure, Maroon.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of guys they've tried there and it just hasn't worked out. Gager for you, I know as we get closer to the season, we're going to do predictions, we're going to do all this fun stuff, but what's a good stat line for you for Skinner in his first year with the Edmonton? Like, where would you be happy? Let's go with goals, not assists.
Goals for him?
Yeah.
Well, so he's not going to be playing power play.
No.
Right? And so that's...
He might
and who
moonlight.
knows, maybe if barring any injuries. I'm just looking at possible 5-on-5 play. I could see him pushing 30. If he's consistently playing with either Leon or Connor, I would
with
say
no power play time.
With no power play time. If he somehow manages power play, I think a guy of his skill, this is a guy that, again, there's a few guys that are able to beat goalies from distance, and standing still. He's one of them, and even. Although I like Arvidsson on that his off wing, that was dangerous every time I would see that with the Kings when he would set up and get those passes across from Kempe. That was nasty. That was really nasty.
Do you think fans would be okay with 20 to 25?
I don't see how you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a couple years ago. I think 13 players of the Edmonton Oilers finished in double digits goals. Like if they get anywhere close to that, it's nuts because that Connor, Leon, Zach, Nuge, they're going to be upwards over all of them over the 30 mark probably.
He had 20. He had 24 last year in 74 games. So if you put those 8 games back in, he's probably at 3 more goals.
Yeah, and he's going to get way more opportunity. There's going to be. And probably he had to work very hard for a lot of those goals. Not saying he doesn't have to, but there's going to be some tap-ins. There's going to be
just keep the stick on the ice, man.
Yeah, become the backboard. So,
it's going to be. I'm intrigued to see where he lines up with this team because I'm not going to take anything into what they're rolling out now because everybody's playing. With different players, and they're just kind of rotating through. So don't read too much into the lines.
No.
Right now, do you think the Oilers this year look at their power play is so dominant, it's historically good, but to maybe just pull those guys back a bit with the minutes because you want to go on a long playoff run? Does a second unit make sense now, though, where you can run them out there for a minute?
I think the amount of skill that you can put out on a second power play allows them to do that. Yeah. I don't think you have to be so power play heavy. Combining the two, I think with both sets, I still believe you can run that thing closer to 28% over the regular season, which is still quite good. And I mean, they've been over that. 30%, 32% the other year. So I think that's what you want to build juice from your power play, right? You want to build momentum off it. So
these are the options you have for a second power play. You ready? Skinner, Arvidsson, Adam Henrique, Vasily Podkolzin, and Savoy, if he makes the team. Corey Perry, who, if you put him in front of the net, is going to score. So is that where you would kind of go? Like Connor Brown, Janmark, Derek Ryan are not getting on the power play.
No, I think you go Henrique, Kane.
I forgot about Kane.
Skinner, Arvidsson, and Nurse.
Oh, that's pretty good. When you're saying it like that, they better get some playing time here.
Well,
let's just say Connor and Dry are out for one of those shifts where the coach puts them together and they're dog tired and you get a power play. You're telling me this second unit can't get you a goal?
No, yeah. I think, and internal competition for the power play is good, right? If Connor's out there and drawing penalties or what have you, and it's a little bit gassed, I think there's no reason you can't give these guys 30 to 45 seconds to start the power play, right?
Like, I shouldn't say I'd rather, but if those guys are just dead tired and they're gassed, like, I don't mind putting this out for these guys for 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
See what you can do.
Yeah.
Huh. Because you haven't had a second unit like that.
The thing that's been so advantageous is Connor doesn't seem to get tired, right? He just keeps going, and obviously the first PK unit always goes up against them, right? So if they can give you a good 30 seconds or whatever, you get the second unit out there, and they got to go up against Connor again, and he's still flying. And if they manage to keep it in the zone the whole time, you're just beating them down. But I think a second unit with some sort of variation of that, which is, I think if you were to ask any coach in the NHL, would you like these 5 guys for your power play? Who's going to say no?
That's a number 1 unit on some teams.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But you just have the nuke on the other one.
And if Kane's hurt or he's out or whatever, Corey Perry doesn't hurt you.
You can put Corey Perry in that. It's just Kane.
Savoy.
Kane has the ability to move in and out from the front of the net and cause havoc, but also back out and be available for shots because he's got a wicked wrister.
So Kane, Arvidsson, Henrique, Skinner, and Nurse, your second power play unit. What say you there, nasties? Let us know in the Nasty chat or the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. I like how on September 9th we're setting up the Oilers' second power play unit. Sonny D chimes in at the Paris Jewelers inbox. He says 35 to 40 goals would be my expectation of Skinner. I think that's a little too, for me, I think that's a little too high. And this one comes in from YouTube Trev. Isn't he on vacation? Well, thank you for listening, buddy. We played your clip earlier. It's going to be a staple on this show. Thank you for posting that to Twitter. But he says if Patty Maroon can net 27 with the Oilers, so should Skinner. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised if he's between 25 and 30. I think 35 to 40, like that's an amazing season, like you said, with no first unit power play time.
Well, wasn't Maroon on the power play, though, too?
He was, yes.
Yeah, so...
And there wasn't many options there because the Oilers didn't have a lot of depth in those teams, right?
No, not at all. But he recognized he was kind of the Zach Hyman role, right? Net front presence, opening up for little tap-ins. Most of his goals came from like 6 feet.
Yeah, and
I think the longest was 6 feet.
And he was able to find that chemistry with McDavid, where a lot of players of the same kind of skill set haven't been able to do so. Now Skinner's a smaller guy, faster. He's a little, you can dice it up there with the puck on his stick. So I'm intrigued. If you had to guess right now, and it's early, who scores more, Arvidsson? Like who puts up better point totals, Arvidsson or Skinner?
I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go with Skinner right now.
Okay.
Just
the McDavid effect because he's penciled in there right now.
Yeah, and Arvidsson's he's kind of. I think there's a guy that's going to score a lot of his goals, like again in that 6 foot radius. Skinner's able to come down the wing and beat goalies. Like if you watch his highlight pack, he's coming down and rifling it past NHL tenders, and Arvidsson's done it too. But I just think more on a consistent basis. You'll see Skinner. more goals that you see on highlight packs than than Arvidsson would.
Arvidsson's just greasy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, final segment coming up here as we wrap up our Monday edition of EST Afternoons. To close it out, we'll set up the Reed Wilkins Show. We'll also bring in our regular producer who's back from vacation. He's been sitting behind the camera, working hard, getting us, making us look good, Gage. But we're gonna get him on and catch up with him and see what's in store going forward with the three of us. That's coming up next here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. But first, here's Zach with a sports update.
Aaron Rodgers and his Jets meet the 49ers for Monday Night Football action tonight. Join Lieutenant Eric and the Nasties down at the Century Casino Sports Barn Lounge for every Monday and Thursday night. Bills quarterback Josh Allen is cleared to start next week's game against the Dolphins. Allen injured his non-throwing hand during the Bills' 34-28 win in Week 1 yesterday. And staying in the world of football, LA Rams receiver Puka Nacua is considered week to week with a knee injury. He had 4 catches for 35 total yards before he was pulled midway through the second quarter against the Lions last night. Over in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers hit the ice for captain skates today after their short offseason. The Oilers' first preseason game is September 22nd against the Jets. The Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett has been nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. This award is given to the player that best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. Chris Bassett gets a call tonight for the Jays in their game against the Mets just after 5. We'll be right back with EST Afternoons in just a couple of minutes. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper. It deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at highproductmarketing.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Short of walking on water toward the sun to find my love, I'll eternally wander.
Just trying to read something. I was reading the nasty.
Are we
chat,
back?
so- Are we back?
Sweet.
We're back, people.
So,
49ers, Jets.
Nice.
What are you expecting tonight? Aaron Rodgers goes off, or he struggles, or he
blows the other Achilles. Oh, you know what? I hope it's a good game. I mean, I enjoy football coming down to the last minutes, final plays.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there was so much hope last year with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. What was that? There was a bar that was offering free drinks too, or something for in Green Bay, or the Jets lost or whatever. But no, I think judging from what we heard on the morning show today and hearing about the mobility from Tanier in the pocket, that's not good, because that's one of Aaron Rodgers' biggest strengths, right? Scrambling, being elusive.
Yeah.
If he's lost, 10, 15% of that?
Yeah.
That makes it very difficult, I think, especially against the Niners.
As a Niners fan, the concern I have, Gage, is that a lot of their big-time players either held out or were hurt for most of camp.
So you're worried about
like a slow start,
Oh.
kind of like it's going to be week 4 of the preseason to start for them, right?
I don't think you have to worry about that too much, because the first game, I think they're just going to be so jacked up for this. It's games 2, 3, 4 that you might see guys that didn't get a full preseason and training camp. But I mean, the Niners are so good,
and they're at home. Frank Gore just went into the Niners Hall of Fame. Like, it's going to be buzzing there. They're going to be trying to start off on the right foot there. And
what do you think of Aaron Rodgers? What do you think is going to happen here?
You know what? I heard you guys on the morning show, and then I'm seeing, because we were trying to get a Jets or Niners guest, but they're just far too busy today, and it's understandable. But seeing some articles written there that they are concerned about his mobility. So until today, I didn't know that was an issue. So I mean, but they still have the very talented offense that they're running back there. They got a good receiver. Their defense is really good. I know they have the one guy. What's his name? He's holding out too. Oh man, I can't think of his name right now. Someone let us know on the nasty chat, the player of the Jets that's holding out. So they're missing a key piece as well. So, I mean, the Jets, you always look at the Jets, but they've always had poor quarterback play. So if they get just good, like, this is a different team, Gage. That's why I'm a little scared. Like, I'm not going to go full like, oh my God, they're going to lose. It's over, blah, blah, blah. But I do think a good Aaron Rodgers makes the Jets just puts them up another level.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, the quarterback position has been their nemesis for forever. If he, like you said, if he can solidify that, give them a little bit more confidence, have defenses worry about it. I glanced at the article, but seeing even Bill Belichick, right, talking about that's going to be the Niners will have a difficult time preparing for Aaron Rodgers tonight. So, and what does that actually mean?
It's two very good defense going toe-to-toe. Jets offense, it's kind of like we'll wait and see how Aaron Rodgers does. And I think for the Niners, too, because Ayuk, it's probably on a snap count. They're saying CMC's kind of dealing with the calf, and Trent Williams hasn't been at training camp, and he's just going to play. So it's going to be interesting to see. I do have some news from the world of film here. James Earl Jones has passed away.
Oh, no. Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That's I met him once.
Is Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams,
Field of Dreams,
yeah.
You told this story, I think, on Two Guys,
Yeah, I met him at the airport in St. Louis, actually, and I was reading Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho, and I had him sign the book, and it was something like to hear that voice, like American Psycho. That's an interesting novel, or whatever he said to me, and signed it and gave it back. But that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's just some news coming down there. Smitty the Welder says Reddick. That's the guy I was talking about for the Jets that's holding out. There was reports that he might be ready to go in this game and come back, but looks like he is going to be out. Zach, do you have time to join us, or are you...
Oh yeah, I'm good now. Now all the issues seem to be sorted out. I hope so. Knock on wood, as Maddie just did.
Well, Zach, you're going to be the producer on this show and the Reed Wilkins show. We're so happy to have you on. You're a hard worker. You got we love your personality and what you're going to bring to this show. I know I've heard you're a big UFC guy. I dive into it from time to time, but welcome to the show. How you feeling now with these two new shows? And you're the producer.
Oh, I'm feeling great. Like I love clicking the buttons. I love making sure you guys are good to do whatever it is you guys are doing, and you guys are doing fantastic. Love Gager. Hernan, haven't really known you too well, but I'm getting to know you a lot more. You being around and being a part of EST, so I'm glad to be a part of something that's new, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys and the evenings as well, because working these shows is great. Listening to them is one thing, but being behind the scenes and making sure everything runs, I feel important.
Well, don't mess up, buddy.
So
I'll mess up every day.
You've come on the radar here as one of the top rappers in Edmonton. What kind of rap game can we expect on this show? Because I'm a big hip hop guy. If you don't know, Zach, I love hip hop, especially old school stuff, and I really liked your rap that you had for Josh Clausen. I, for one, really enjoyed it. I thought it made sense. Well, what can you bring in that aspect? Because we have to incorporate that, Gager. That's a skill.
Well, I think whenever there's some big UFC news, I think just to deliver the message should be done lyrically. So, Zach, you've got some free reign.
I could fight in the game, that's for sure. I tried. I appreciate you saying that, though. A lot of people came up to me and said, that made no sense.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. You're honest. That's all that matters, right?
No, but Zach, you're a part of the show. We want to bring you on, and we know you're a big sports fan. You cover the Oilers. I know you've worn some questionable gear at times here, Vegas Golden Knights and all that. Are you a Seahawks fan?
Yes, I am.
Oh, boy. That's not going to be good for us.
No, he's got the jerseys that have every single year of the Seahawks on it. They're great, though. I don't mind them. It's fine.
That's good. Well, welcome, Zach. We're very excited to have you on board, and look forward to working with you here on the Daily.
Thank you.
I see from this morning, our Dusty and I had some NFL specials, so they're up at CoolBet for you to have a look at. The Hull and Goats parlay, anytime TD score, Hull Brees, Christian McCaffrey receptions, over 4.5, and Aaron Rodgers pass completions. We had the over at 22.5. So
You gonna sprinkle someone?
Well, plus 770. Those are pretty good odds, but
yeah, they are.
I made it. I might as well, right? I probably should put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How are you gonna get other people to do it when you can't even do it?
If I don't do it, that's if it hits, I can brag.
It's so much fun just to sprinkle a little bit here and there, isn't it?
Exactly.
And did you guys all do one, or it was like a team one?
That was a team. Yeah. It was a parlay. We all did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just went through it.
It's what did you say it was plus?
Plus 770.
Oh.
That's what we had, right?
And where does one find this?
Cool bet. It was the Holland Goats NFL special parlay. That's ours, isn't it? It's what we said.
I just created an account yesterday, so.
Wait a second. What am I? Oh, I'm looking at NFL specials.
Yeah, no. Go to exclusives. Go to Edmonton Sports Talk.
There it is. I thought it was. Ours are plus 600 because I had. Yeah, didn't I have under 249? That's what I had. What was I?
Because you picked Kittle, right? That was your pick.
You picked Kittle. Sorry, Edmonton Sports Talk parlay. Go to exclusives plus 600. Monday Night Football Madness. Rodgers under 249 yards passing. Kittle over 39.5 yards receiving. And an anytime TD by Hall. You said, Maddie, that Kittle did this at least 10 times last season?
He was over 4 yards 10 times what I count.
All right. Cool.
I've sprinkled some money on that one.
I better sprinkle.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sprinkle as well. Another McFan on the nasty chat says, "What a tripod." Salas, Gager.
Yeah, that's
Zach,
right. Sturdy.
What's your last name again?
Kubusch.
Nice.
Tomato.
I knew it was. I just didn't want to butcher that, so I preferred to ask him. Right?
Hernan or Hernan?
Hernan.
Hernan. Yes.
Hernan.
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 Right? If you go to South America, the H is silent, so it's Hernan.
I can't roll the R's either. Hernan.
It's like Iwanic, Iwanic, because Lieutenant Eric always calls you Iwanic. Is it Iwanic or Iwanic? Iwanic.
Ewanic. I always called you Iwanic.
What do I call you? I call you Matt, don't I?
Well, I call you Maddie, but
No, I don't. I don't know what the proper one is, so I just go Maddie. I know it now. I know.
yeah. So go to Edmonton Sports Talk parlay on exclusives for a cool bet. The boys set one up on the morning show. It's Rodgers under 249. That kind of concerns me. Kittle over 39, which is probably a safe bet.
I think so.
And Hall anytime touchdown plus 600 right now. So sprinkle a little bit on that. Make some money. Enjoy the game tonight. 6:15 it gets going. San Francisco 49ers hosting the New York Jets. It's time for us to wrap up here. Reed Wilkins show is coming up with Jay Milne. They got a loaded show as well on this Monday. Gager, it's our first 5-day work week.
Let's do it, buddy.
Let's do it.
I'm
We're
ready.
going to have a lot of fun here. A lot more coming down the pipe in terms of fun segments and all that. So we'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock here on Edmonton Sports Talk. For Zach, Joaquin, I am Hernan Salas. Thank you for tuning in to EST Afternoons. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll chat Tuesday afternoon.
Two guys and a goalie.
I don't mind analytics. I just don't like when people are like only analytics and only this, and they're like, oh, you can't do that, guys, and so he's horrible. And I'm like, let's watch the tape, and then let's look at those analytics and say why some of that stuff happened before we make our decisions.
Cass is good in the sheets. The Excel spreadsheets.
I was going to say,
like
Cass, what do you think of analytics? By the way, this episode will be called Cassalytics. Hey, I think it's got to be.
Yeah. Two guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk.